This is Audible.
Recorded Books presents Lightbringer by Pierce Brown. Narrated by Tim Jared Reynolds. Part 1. Circus. Yea, and if some god shall wreck me in the wine-dark deep, even so I will endure. For already I have suffered full much, and much have I toiled in the perils of waves and war. Let this be added to the tale of those. Homer. Chapter 1. Darrow. Castaway. Our sun floats in darkness, attended by moons made of trash. Long ago, when the planets were reshaped by mankind, the detritus of their terraforming operations was fused together into moon-sized spheres by orbital compactors and shoved out toward Sol. Gripped by the gravity of her mass, most of these trash moons have completed their centuries-long funeral march into the nuclear fires of the sun, but several hundred laggards still remain circling their eventual demise. Tethered to the barren landscape of a forgotten trash moon once catalogued as Marcher 1632, a shipwrecked corvette named the Archimedes hides in the shadow cast by a waste escarpment a kilometer high. Martians, slaves turned soldiers turned castaways, crawl over the ship. Our welding torches flare against the hull. Our spacesuits are stinking bogs. We are marooned 200 million kilometers from home, and I stew in sweat, nausea, and discontent. That bloody damn Bologna. That arrogant, peerless shit. I'm going to break his knee if I ever see him again. It should be him on this hull. I'd tell him to his face, but he took the only relic in the base's hangar that could still fly and stole off with Ori, his pink accomplice, while I slept. He recorded a little message telling me to tend my wounds and left his mess behind, his crippled ship, for us to repair. The bastard! More than a decade separated from Olympia's airy sepulchres has done little to diminish Cassius's spectacular talent for condescension. Worst of all, in typical Cassius fashion, he's taking his damn time. 6 weeks he's been gone on a mission to Starhold, an ecliptic trade post between the orbits of Mercury and Venus, to secure us the helium we need for the Archimedes. While here I am, either languishing in the old Sons of Ares base that's hidden in the belly of the trash moon, or latched onto the side of his ship like an industrious barnacle welding the days away, knowing time is running out. Hades, it may already have run out. Cut off from communication with the outside world, I have no way of knowing the course of the war I began. No way of knowing if Virginia and Victra have managed to weather the united power of the Golds of the Rim and the Core. No way of knowing if Sephi has come back to the Republic, or if Lysander has used my defeat on Mercury as a ladder to the morning chair. No way of knowing if the enemy has already burned Mars, my family, my home. I think of Mars and her highland moors and whispering woods. No, Virginia told me to endure. I've been imprisoned before. I know I must force away the thoughts of home before they make debris of me. Not for the first time, I tried to seek refuge in anger. I want a fight. I need a fight. It's how I'm made, to struggle in eternal vain. But instead of a fight, instead of the forward motion that soothes my restless nature, all I get is the monotone hum of generators and the days congealing together, a litany of endless routine. I started this war. Others are finishing it. I must escape. Atalantia must die. Atlas must die. Lysander must die. I picture each of them grovelling before me, my ears deaf, my hands choking the life from them as blood swells in their eyes. The violent fantasies do nothing to ease my desolation. The anger that once made planets tremble is now toothless.